Hi again. So this then will be for the Tools Tuesday, and this is the picture I took while doing the last video talking about scrying in the clouds. I don't know if it reflects your mind, hope not. No, I'm just kidding, but well, that was the only cloud out there. I don't know if you could see it because it gets very blurry when you upload certain pictures that are taken with such a crappy camera, you know. Same way that I film with a phone. Anyways, still lots of those out there. Always. Okay, also I don't know the message there though. But for the tools, also I added, but you all saw that, some songs. And by the way, talking about that seeing messages in everything, you can go too far. And like that everything would include some sort of clue or some sort of like there is not a riddle, but what is the word? Maybe it is the word, but you know, like there is something to the like hidden message within everything. And when it came to songs that, well, I don't know, came into my mind, there is no like hidden message in them from me or so, just so you know, because I can like that. Although I'm mostly straightforward, I still kind of like to put some things in there that maybe someone pick up the clue or not. But usually it's quite clear when I say things, I think. And so I just wanted you to know. Now I need to try to figure out what I wanted to say with those. Using the first, I don't know, letters of the first, I don't know. But you know, you can go overboard to kind of, there is a word for it, I don't know. Of course there is a word for it. Anyways, that's not the case. And it's not that I especially like the songs, it's just some of them I made, but it's not for that case either. Just to give you a sense of listening in that kind of different way, maybe. So, and this also, the spirits, by the way, they are quite hilarious. Everything is not serious. Nothing is almost. When it come to the spirit world, it's here. Everything is serious because we don't have that wider perspective. They are very playful, and of course compassionate. So they feel with us what we go through and all that. But you know, still they are very mischievous in a sense and playful, and yeah, so. So they make jokes also. Anyways, I will get to this now, and I don't know how far I will get to in the next video. I will maybe make two of these. I will add someone. No, not someone. And I will add one later where I show my Athame. Then that's ritual knife or magical blade, you know. So you can see it, but that's quite different. So when it comes to the tools, by the way, it's 4 general tools, like in the 4 suits of general playing cards, and that represents the 4 suits of the tarot. Also, like I must think what they are called now in tarot. It's swords, that would be spades then. And as you know, ace of spades and ace of swords, they can be, that's really strong, and it can be both in hate or love, and just the strength overall. And also you can actually use, especially some decks are actually, I guess, you know, they are infused, you could say, with the magical purpose in them. For example, the Enochian Scrying Tarot that I have, they have a vibe that from to begin with, it almost made me faint when I held the deck, or I held the box, and I got it. And And you can use certain, I mean, you can do that from any tarot deck, but some cards you will probably feel that which are the strongest. So if you won't have access to anything else, you can use the aces of the cards to represent these things for you, because it's not the tool, the physical tool. It's about what they represent, and that you make it visible to yourself and make a physical ritual that strengthen it in your own mind also, what your aim is. So it have a strong purpose that way, but in many other ways. But so anyways, that is one of those, the general tools. And the grand tool for that would be the sword. Not many, I guess, use that. And then, I mean, in it's larger traditions, maybe for the drama, it's good to dramatize things sometimes, because they bring a stronger effect emotionally, which also then bring more energy into the work. So whatever you do that make you react in an emotional way would actually help your cause. And sometimes your reactions to things may not be what you wish, and that may also maybe bring things then off course or off where you want them to go. But anyways, so, and then the wand and the sword and the wand is the more phallus symbols, or male energies that are more outwards, while the cup and the pentacle is more receptive. And for the wand would be then the wand, but wait, clubs in ordinary playing cards with those leaves, of course, and so. And that would be the staff in more as a grand tool. And I have had one once. I was out, I've mentioned this before, but I asked for Freya. I have not worked with Freya a lot, those goddesses and gods that are more from the area, let's say. But I connected with her somewhat, and I asked for one, actually, and then we were driving around, and I said that out loud. I usually don't say things like that, but when those around me, they are quite used to my strange ideas, and they think, oh, okay, she's a little bit strange, so we will just let her have it. It's a kind of, but they kind of raise their eyebrows and think, okay, what? But then I said that can you pass by here? I said, because I'm going to get a staff from, or a wand, I think I said, but from Freya. And they were just, what? But yeah, here is a beautiful tree. They said I wanted it from a birch tree, so. And they said, this is a beautiful tree. But no, she's going to give me one. I'm not going to break it in a branch. And then, and they were just, what? How are you going to just? It's not like there are broken branches all over. Not that there is so very rare either. But anyway, so we were driving like a couple of meters more or something since I said that then, and I'm just, there is it. And there was this staff hanging from the tree, so I could reach it and grab it, take it. And so, I had that for a while, but that's more something that you could use. I engraved certain things and so, but I decided to not keep it later, because you could use it in many ways, of course, but it's more like a leader thing. And for me, it was more representing leadership of myself, of my life, and so on, to remind myself of those things. But so it's more useful, I guess, in a larger group, and so that's the case with many of those tools. I assume most have a little cauldron though. But anyways, moving on. Then and to me, that's some shift the directions when it comes to the sword. They are called sword actually in tarot. I'm not messed up. The swords and or Athame then, or the knife, is for me in the East. That's how I was taught. So I that makes sense to me. The air element and so. And that's how you use them also in tarot. But in some traditions they exchange that so that and then would be the wand in the south, while they have the wand in east and knife in the south. But I don't know. To me, that would be strange. But I understand it, though, to some degree. But you could have things in whatever direction you feel comfortable with, of course, as anything else, whatever makes sense to you. But it could be good to be connected somewhat to some traditions, because later on when you work or add things to things and so on, it will be a little bit messed up, I guess, if it won't go along with somewhat with those ideas, if you say, or energies that others have experienced or work with. But whatever pleases you. But also each of those aces in the tarot, as well as in the directions, also represent those 4 archangels. So that would be Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, and Uriel. Anyway, so then to the west would be the cup, which would be then hearts in playing cards, and and that would be the cauldron in grander tools, and to the north the pentacle, and that would be the diamonds in usual playing cards, and then the body as a grander tool. The pentagram, how it looks like a body or a human, maybe, or it could represent stretched out with legs and arms and head and like that. So when it's turned upside down, then it represents rather, having the feet up, you could say. It's like the head represents a spirit also, or the you could talk about chakras even, the above and so. So if you turn it, then you put the ego over the spirit, let's say, but not in the Hanged Man card, though. Then there is that more represents actually the opposite. But anyways, it's like letting go more card, and let the spirit flow into this world. But yeah, okay, I talk about many things now. I have written down a few things. Maybe I should check what, so that I keep to the. But this is the topic, though. But for this today, it is just about the Athame, that is called, and this ritual knife or magical knife or blade. And how to use it and all. And I mean, everything you can listen to others and so on. I still don't like to really watch videos when they practice, or even if they show. I mean, that can be nice to watch actually when they show, but still it looks a little bit I mean, you rather need to be in that, to have that. You have a different mindset when you work with it, and the energies and everything. That's so different from just looking at that going on from the outside. It's just not close to representing the same thing. So it seemed very strange from the outside, Now I come to think about another song. Pink Floyd. But I won't go on with the songs. There are lots of other music that I like music. So those songs in my previous video was not to give my to share what I like as music. But maybe I should do that. I haven't done that much really. But I tend to now and then put a link to a song or something that I pick up. Okay, so let's see. Oh, here I have something else. What did I write down? So my ritual knife that I use very seldom. I tend to use my tools very seldom. I have an altar and I vary that somewhat, and I like to change things around. So sometimes I don't, because I haven't figured how to, where to, and so. but I like to change energy, so I move around furniture and so. And when it comes to those tools, I like them. I love them, actually. But I don't work with them a lot. They are more like, to me, I tend to go to them when it's really something serious. And then, for example, when my dad had a sheep and they were having sheep children, what to say, lambs, yeah. And there was someone who was stuck and couldn't get it out, and they were very worried, and I think he called or something at the time, because she would probably then die or something if they wouldn't get it out, and then I did some stronger magic with also using that to direct the energy. That was what I used it for, but it still strengthened my focus and in a way. And also the energies of the tool have a purpose. So I would, instead, I can use it sometimes also when I use candle magic to engrave something, but usually I don't use. I could use even my nails or another kind of nail of sorts to engrave things, or yeah. So it's not that I use them a lot. They are very much symbolic to me, although the energy in them and the purpose of them that have kind of dawned on me gradually, as well as, planetary things and such, that some people start out there. But that's good that we go different. I mean, we can learn from each other all the time, since we aren't always at the exact same page learning things, so that's awesome. Anyway, so I'm not saying that my way of viewing them or seeing this or sharing, I share also things that others views, because that's more general. But when it comes to the Athame that I will show in my next video, I really don't use it. Yeah, I do sometimes, but it have a value to me, and I have had it for a long time. I've had that for I guess like almost maybe 20 years, and to me, there are like on that, you will see that, and I will maybe do voiceover, or however I will do to that. I think I will do voiceover, because I want to talk about those different levels. There are like on that the cover of the blade, there is like 10 different stories high, kind of. You can see it as if with little doors on each of them. It's a kind of a Chinese one with those also knotted thing with the, those red things they have in certain restaurants. I don't know, with yeah, you will see it. I really didn't like that though, but it has some sort of meaning to me, and maybe it was magical before, and you should not. I mean, it's not recommended to. If you purchase one, then it not go all in and make one. It's not recommended to buy them second hand or like a thrift store of sorts. But I bought in there was this huge sale place with lots of tents in Gothenburg. I guess it may be still there. Up on, I don't know how to explain where that was, but it doesn't matter. And when I saw it, I just loved it, and since then I have loved it. And but I'm not like attached to my tools, though. I know that they are reflections. They are there to remind me when I see them of the things they mean, also, rather than them in themselves meaning all too much as physical object, which you shouldn't be too attached to those. Maybe, at least I see it that way. But anyways, each of these 10 levels, let's say, they have a certain meaning to me too, that I want to work with myself, like with my mind. And yeah, so, but that's just personal things. No one else. I've never heard anyone having a similar kind of knife, and it's like double bladed though. That they used to be that, but I guess that's the only common thing. and having it representing East and so then, and thought, but yeah, you know. But then I will do voiceover for that, I think, so that so I can share a little bit of those thoughts connected then to Buddhism, since I use also the Vaira Dorje, those Tibetan symbolizing these different worlds, and the central there, our world, the upper, lower, and the lightning, since I've been so drawn to lighting all my life, also, and the bell, very symbolic to me, and also there is a little goddess figure on that bell that I love. Maybe I should show these kind of tools that are connected to more to those Eastern. Since I worked with Kuan Yin also, I was very drawn to these tools, and the singing bowl, of course, that I use very much for cleansing purposes and so. But yeah, so yeah, well, going now to open this. I've talked for long already. What shall I say here? Yeah, I also sometimes forget those who don't really do this, since it's part of my life. It's connected to things all the time. I don't think about that others really don't. so basic things, maybe I forget to say them. Also thought about maybe doing some later on, like some videos that go more in depth into exercises. I will do more of those also public, but also going to maybe like, not like in group videos, but maybe send links and so that if anyone is interested later on to try these exercises out and give some feedback on messages or so on, to how they perceived it and so on. And someone you can, because you need to kind of build certain things and to know where someone else is and what's happening with them meanwhile is kind of needed to be able to do that in the right way, in the right pace, or at least hopefully, yeah. So that I also thought about, because I want to like go deeper with all of you. But okay, yeah. And of course, as a solitary in group setting and traditions, they have different preset ways to work with, or work, and so yeah. Also the pantheons they work with sometimes, so, and the way they use the tools and the way they teach that also. But for the Athame, then it's used to cast a circle or summon magical forces, let's say, or direct the flow of energy. And it also represents a lot of things. Obviously, if you look at the sword suit, and of course those aces, that's the potential of them very much. So they hold that energy, you could say. Also, you cleanse them and you consecrate them, and you infuse them then with your intent, you can say. And also, the more you use a tool, not that I, as I said, use them a lot, but when I do, I use them in a focused way. And the energy they hold will be very strong, since you don't just randomly throw them around, you know. But some say that if you use them more and more, just handle them, they will have a stronger power then. So I don't know, but that's how I do it anyway. But so it can represent the witch's individual will as well then. And also you can use them in, there are some people who use another knife kind of thing when they cut herbs or do other things, but you can use this for that purpose if you wish as well, I guess. But there is this tradition of having two knives, like one white handled and one black handled, and so on. Handed, do you say? No, whatever it's called, where you hold your hand. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just talking about this now. I haven't had one of those anyways, but I had this magical bag to pick herbs and such in, or magical stones, whatnot. Right. And obviously, as being a knife, and so it looks a little bit aggressive or warlike, and so So some people prefer to use other things. I wouldn't, though. I mean, I really like that. The drama, that gives a different seriousness to it. And also the double blade to me often means that what you send out also comes back. If you turn it, so one of the sharp edges is turned towards you. That also reminds you of how energy impact. It's not ever that you can turn a blade outwards and not get it towards yourself as well, in how the universe works. And so that I also like those kinds of symbolic things, if you say, that it means to me. It can mean many other things, the double blade there also. But some use then quartz crystals, or even letter openers, or their hand just like outstretched in that sense, or feather, or even a butter knife, or they can use to exchange it for the wand, as I said as well. Use the wand in the same way, or a candle. But and also, as I said, I can use this via the Tibetan Buddhist thing also as a I don't know how they exactly use them though, so maybe you shouldn't maybe take something from a culture without really researching its how it's used. But I feel so connected to all the Tibetan Buddhism things, so I just feel that it works well. Yeah, but mainly I would use this knife for Athame then. And you purify them, of course, you bless and purify them and so on with the help of whatever spirits you work with as well, if you wish, but also with the elements and so, and spirit generally as well, as the combination of all these elements, and to remove energies that won't be a match to what you want for your workings. So, as I said, I love to keep some things holding the energy they had. I feel like I connect with the energy they hold. But then again, you can, as well as when you buy older, let's say second-hand furniture or something, if you would, maybe your clothes or whatever, you could get in touch with the former owner if they passed on and so on, things depending on how sensitive you are, and so you really need to be then tuned in, otherwise probably it's better to cleanse them. And also of course you can make one. And you can charge them with specific oil you do for that purpose and so on. But also, and wrap them in some clean white linen. It's common for the Athame, I guess. And also you use that, as I said, to cast a circle. So you often, I don't know, but some people use the pentacle. You kind of invoke air or banish air and do that in different direction then. The air to east then, and the fire in the south, and water in the west, and earth or soil, do you say? Yeah, in north. So you move it in different directions doing that, if you work with that, if you work in that way. And also the whole, you can decorate all your tools the way you wish to. And also, by the way, no, I won't go into all kinds of tools now, but also I think drums would actually, to me, that would also be a kind of a grand tool for the north. And I just thought about that in decorations and stuff. But and for these, maybe if it's metal, then to etch onto it, maybe symbols or sigils or your magical name or so on, or even into the handle, if you wish. I haven't done that though. Sometimes I really like things like naked, yeah, clean as they are. And yeah, but some people do that, and I understand why. Yeah, and also when you do this, it's called like the cone of power. When you work magic, you raise energy inside the circle, yourself or with others, dancing or singing or however you meditate or whatever, chanting, drumming, to build energy, and then you focus that onto whatever the focus is, or that point of attraction, but yeah, then you can use this tool then to send the energy that is gathered or is raised to that desired outcome when you release it. And sometimes that would be like people dropping to the floor, you just let go of that built up energy. Yeah. And yeah, but to make your own, I mean, if you should follow all, there's always lots of rules around things. I guess also when I went to this education in Waldorf to become a Waldorf teacher, when we make a little, not a harp, but those smaller ones, lyre, are they called? Beautiful. I still don't have mine, but we made things with our hands, lots of things, that's kind of one of their ways to think about things then. Also your own school books you made, or those who go to Waldorf schools, they make, even higher up in their grades, they craft their own school books they get taught and then they make their own book. I mean, not only the content of the book, but the book itself also, and also the content with paintings, drawing, or whatever it contains. And that's such a great, awesome idea, honestly. Anyways, not to be handed something that is already finished, and in your creativity really inspire that and lift forth from them what they have already within as well. So so awesome, I think. But anyways, so I think it really have a purpose when it comes to making tools. But then again, depend. I mean, it works anyways, as well as it works without any tools. But then you would have to have kind of knowledge of a lot of things, and many use like specific, like astrology, need to be that time of the day and that exact day when the planets should be supposedly in that order, or whatever. And all kinds of ideas of how the length and of the Athame and the what metal, but I think it does have an impact, as everyone does, I guess, who work with these kinds of things, that like everything have a vibration. So all kinds of metals vibrate in relation to certain energies that will affect in specific ways. So it does impact what kind of metal it will be. But it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is your mind. Yeah. So let's see now. Yeah, but there are so many associations you could go into, and I mean, if you follow that strictly, as I guess ceremonial magicians are very strict in many ways, or they follow like exactness in a way that many others won't, I guess. And I can understand how that also built in itself, just being so exact, doing whatever you do, would kind of create a certain energy and focus by itself. But anyways, but still, it's most important you feel comfortable with it, and that it suits you. And by the way, maybe I should say that about the pentacle. We come to that then in some weeks. The earth element also, that's the 5-pointed star, if you wouldn't know. And then, as I said, it can also represent yourself with the top there, if you have it turned in that way. So there is this point upwards, and that represents the spirit then. and the other would represent the elements like, the water, earth, air, and fire, and so. And also there is this witch's pyramid you may have heard about, that air also is connected to know, water is connected to dare, and fire to the will, and earth to silence. To not always, when it comes to magical workings, share that, because if you do, that's why a coven can be really, really good, because you have so much more energy to work with than your own. But you always have helpers and so on around, and also how much energy you yourself have trained yourself to work with and through. So you can work with a lot yourself. But in a coven you can access so much more because there are more people. But also it's very important that you really do have the same aims then and aspirations, because otherwise it will get scattered. And that's the thing, when you share things, your goals or whatever, it's good that others really support them to bring that energy in that direction. And then the spirit would be to go then. Anyways, I think I've said a few things there. But as I said, to craft it yourself from scratch would be like ideal in a way, but you can buy one or find one wherever you find knives, in knife store or sports store or so. But I really like mine, although it's not recommended to go find one that is already used. And if it have drawn blood, as they say, it's not a good thing, whether it's by accident or not. And I don't know, but I think that is such a strong that blood contains your life force, so in a very, very strong way. So I guess that is not only physically quite difficult maybe to clean, but also energetically that is quite a strong energetic print left there with that energy. You can of course cleanse that, I think, but still it's not recommended to use such a knife to work magic. And I can say a few things about the whole metals, maybe. That, for example, silver will be connected to the moon and psychic forces, mysteries, flow, intuition, the goddess, while copper connected to Venus, peace, tranquility, harmony, happiness, beauty. Much of the Tibetan is copper. And tin, which is actually what many of the native Swedes use, is connected to Jupiter within like jewelry and so on as well. Prosperity, expansion, growth, fruition, success, development, so on. Iron, Mars, the planet Mars, energy, movement, change, the individual will, direction, force, power, and men's mysteries and the god. And gold, the sun, that can also obviously represent the god, as the goddess, and the moon would be silver. And as well as copper for the Venus could represent the goddess as well. Anyway, the gold for sun, obviously, success, achievements, and then ultimate attainment, and all kinds of good things. Like the sun card and the moon card would represent those silver and gold things as well. And the divine, even universal mysteries and unity and so on. Oneness, I guess, also you could say. So if you want to, you could obviously learn a lot beforehand and choose for that particular one to work with. But also I think you will be guided if you ask for guidance towards what suits you. Yeah, and the power to know would be then the element of air, and that is also connected to this tool, and the connection to just know, not only what you learn like educational and so, but also intuitive, like that connection, like you see in the sword cards often. And there is also this thought about the outward and inward expression of each of these. And for this, it would be the outward expression would be the visible, the expression of the unseen and the subtle energy forces, and like the linear cognitive information, judgment, practical sense, and so on. While the inward would then be the non-visible, the receptive, internal process, and of those subtle forces, like the power. And sometimes it's called the power to wonder, not knowing, mental openness, and not judging, and so on. As there is a need to keep all of these elements in balance, I should also talk a little bit slow, I guess, but and also obviously like everything in the air and sword suit, like rational understanding also of the world around, and communication, education, learning, thinking, speaking, all mental activity like that. So, but there is in all of these elements, there is a delicate balance between these active and passive energies. And also when it comes to elementals, it would be the fairies. And I have one of those as a guide as well. And I won't go into all that, but it corresponds to certain colors, fragrances, herbs like such. And as a stone, it would be probably mostly the quartz crystal. And it's also, what is it called now? It's you can see through it, it's like air, like that, such a clear, Also when it comes to the sharpness of the mind. But some of them are more cracked or mudded. And when it comes to that power to wonder also, it's about like unlearning things. It's very much the Zen side maybe of things. Unlearning things you have learned about your life, your relationships, and everything and everyone. And the wisdom that emerges when you release your opinions and judgments about life and such. So it allows you to discover greater truths that is beneath or behind or beyond your rational mind, as I mentioned, I think, in the beginning here. Gabriel also is the archangel for that, then would be in my thought of it. And all kinds of beginnings, so changes, air changes quickly. And to me, Diana would be connected to this with her wisdom, knowledge, and learning, and so. And some would also connect Hermes or Thoth or Theute, as I mentioned in the themes Thursday we read about, and Caridwen for the education part. And also there is magical work you can do when you try to transform into that element, and that means you to be able to do that. I don't think that is the first thing you should try to do, but you need to really surrender your body and mind to. If you're fearful of that transformation, you won't let go, so you can experience it. But then to go deeper into that in meditation or so, and what is it you really fear, or even with your logical mind, what is that self you fear to lose, and question that a little bit maybe. So until I feel ready then, and that is a shamanic experience to go into these elements and feel as if you become, in this case, an air. Like as it is expressed by someone, it's like falling freely without end through time and space. I've had that feeling many times, and it can open up to many new discoveries, And also the understanding of those elements within yourself, not only outside of yourself in the world, but we are very much, we are that. That's what we are, and what affects us and what we can work with within ourselves as well. So, yeah, there are many ways you can do that, but also incense, and when you cleanse yourself with incense, for example, that is a process by itself that make you maybe aware of yourself also as air. I wonder, when you cleanse and bless yourself with incense, that is, yeah. I think I won't go into much more of this. Yeah. But to cleanse yourself, you can have that some incense connected to air, the element of air, or you can just go by your choosing if you wish. But and then you fan it. You take your hands through the. And then I wave here with my hands, but through the incense and move it towards your body, or different chakras maybe, or over you and around you and so on, in whatever way you feel helps you. But that is a way to cleanse yourself. And that's a good beginning practice anyways. But there are many things you can do, and also it involves very often when you work with these things, visualizations of sorts, like trance journeys really. And although they may at the beginning feel like you're just imagining or whatever, but it doesn't matter. You will see the result and the impact quite quickly if you try it on. So, and since it influences the subconscious, it really sticks as well. It really changes, not just on the surface, because it's not working with the surface. But also you should really respect yourself. If you feel that something is too much or too quick for you, you should slow down and listen to yourself and take it in the pace that you are ready for. Because we are also fragile. We are very strong and much more than we think, but we are also fragile. And we should respect our own boundaries. And that's why I don't recommend, although there is a lot of, herbs and much things that are also drugs, psychedelic drugs and so on, that can open up a lot. But still they also lessen your ability to feel your own boundaries, and that can throw you into something you really don't want to experience. You won't have the same access to controlling the experience, and it's strong enough without those adding to it, really. When you are ready for it, you can experience very strong things without any outer help as such. So, and before then, I think there is a reason for you to take it slow. So that's that. Okay. There is nothing like... it's not better in any way to rush, because the only thing that will happen is that you get stronger resistance. If you experience that it's very... that you get scared, or that it's very uncomfortable, then probably you will hesitate to do it again, or you will at least not relax so much that you will go way deeper. And so then that will take even longer for you to access those levels, because you will you will not be comfortable doing so. And also it can make you confused, honestly, if you go quicker than your rational mind can accept what is happening with you. And also when it comes to all kinds of different worldviews that people have, and sometimes it's really to keep themselves sane. They need to distrust, let's say, medium. I'm not saying that always is a good thing to trust, because there are always fraud people out there and doing all kinds of things for all kinds of reasons. But but sometimes also it's about keeping your world stable and sane, and therefore it need to be not true, to be able to know what to hold on to, kind of. So have respect for yourself. And also some people are very cocky to begin with before they know that these things actually are true and work well because they don't know better. And you should not be fooled by that, honestly, because the thing is that's the conscious things, the other things is hidden to you, so you don't know that until you know that. No, but until you dive as deep as that, or as high, or however you would describe it, or wide, or whatever. But so there is much there. You are much more than you ever think. We all are. Yeah. Okay, I hope this gave you something, and I will stop now and add a this is just brief intros, but please feel free to ask me. I'm not sure I can answer though, but I can try, and also I can check with someone else or something. But you can also check yourself, of course. And even if you disagree or have another view on things, that's okay also to share that, so that maybe others can access that knowledge that I lack. That's awesome if you do that. If you disagree with something I say, that's absolutely fine by me. I think that the more we share our knowledge, the better, because then more people have more to pick their information from. So that's only adding to it all. So yeah. Okay, ending now then. Much love to each and every one of you.